Hey, what's up guys, welcome back. It's your boy Mondo. On today's episode we have Thomas' car. This is actually back for a health check. So this car has been through quite some hell, unfortunately. It's the first car I actually see this happening. His facer got stuck, and on the passenger side it just bank 2, so that's actually the driver's side, and it would just completely stay stuck. It wouldn't face at all, so it was stuck at 1 cam angle, and that was at 0, so valves had no movement. They were all completely stuck at 0. So he finally got it fixed. Unfortunately I wasn't able to take care of him in time. I was slammed with work, and I just wasn't gonna be able to do it fast enough for him to get it. So we had our good boy over at FS Racing take care of it. Phasers installed and everything, and I just had him bring it in for a health check, make sure the tune was gonna be up to point, because we did go through some street revisions trying to figure out what was going on, and I adjusted some air and all that. So it did cause a little bit of drivability problems now that it's fixed, because we tried to fix a mechanical problem with the tune, because we weren't getting any check engine lights or anything. So now that it's all repaired, it's back on the dyno. We just did a pull. There's some really good numbers for I didn't rev it out all the way, but we do have a slight hesitation in mid-range RPMs. So this is what I'm going to do next. We are going to do a crank relearn. A crank relearn is recommended anytime you do a lighter flywheel, a different clutch, a different crank pulley, anything that changes the drive speed. So anything that is going to affect how quick a crank can spin will require crank relearn. So low weight drive shaft as well, so like aluminum, carbon, any drive shaft of those will affect it, or anytime you change cam and crank sensors. So trying to diagnose this, Thomas did put in new cam sensors, did put in new solenoids, and the last thing was a facer. So we're gonna go ahead and do the crank relearn just to make sure that's out of the way and everything is properly calibrated. So check it out, this is how we're gonna do it. So on Fords, generally what I do is I like to use the snap-on. I'm not big on the HP tuners because there's a lot of different settings you have to fix. So we're gonna go into special functions, and it's gonna be called misfire monitor neutral profile correction. So obviously this is the kind of stuff that we change right now, or these two are the reasons why we're doing the crank relearn. So we have to meet all these conditions. So obviously we're gonna put the park brake on, the engine's in neutral, we're up to our operating temp, AC is off. Now we're gonna hit continue. So all I have to do is get this number down to 0. So all I'm really gonna do is just floor it until the number starts coming down. And that is it. That's a crank relearn. So now that that's done, let's do another pull and see if we can get some more power out of it. Alright guys, so the car is done. We figured out all the bugs on it, and we're ready for some test driving. So I'm actually gonna hand the camera over to Thomas, because I'm the one behind the driver this time. So we'll see how well it does. Honestly, right now all I'm really checking for is for good drivability. I do have a slight surge at idle that I'm gonna see if we can sort out real quick. And then once all that is fixed, we're gonna go ahead and activate the flex fuel so we can go back to E85.
South anymore.
Yeah, so I do have to adjust fuel a bit. It is running slightly on the richer side in certain areas. Diesel is showing rich, but that's probably because we have the pop tune in it.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
It's just dumping the fuel.
Yeah, that's the one thing that sucks. Fucking mile per gallon tanks with the pop tunes. Yeah, but other than that, everything's looking pretty solid. Yeah, I'll work on idle a bit because there is a slight surge to it.
Let me see if I can point out that sound for you real quick.
All right.
It's gone, bro.
Sweet. All right, so I don't know if you want to do a pull. I would go down and make a U-turn.
Go down and make a U-turn.
Yeah, just to make sure coast is clear.
Okay. And what do I rev out at now? Like, what should I be shifting at? 75?
I would shift at 74.
74?
Yeah. So make a U-turn right here.
My bad.
You're good. You're good.
I put it in track mode. I don't know if that's gonna make any difference.
It's mainly for pedal fuel. So whenever you're ready, just punch it.
See how it was a little sluggish off the go? Just ever so slightly?
Yeah, but the problem is you don't have the stock manifold anymore. So we do lose a little bit of that low end. Anything below a power band, dude, in this car is gonna be a little sluggish. So what the issue there is, you started to pull off in second at low RPMs. So if you would have started in, let's say if you were in second and you would have started like around 45 to 5, it would have picked up a lot faster. It's just we don't have the torque.
I'm gonna do that this time, okay?
Yeah, like we don't have a lot of torque in these engines. Yeah, so we don't have a lot of torque. So you're gonna need those high RPMs.
Gotcha.
But other than that, we're good to go back, dude. Everything looks solid. I will make the last adjustments for fuel now that we're on the street. And when we ever activate flex fuel, you should be solid. Okay. Sand. Ah, fucking shit. Alright guys, so that pretty much sums up the video on Thomas's car. This car did have a previous video, I believe. If I'm not mistaken, is actually from last year, but it's called a step-by-step or a guide to horsepower. I have to look it up, but I'll actually leave a link right here. Well, not a link, but a little tab for it, so you guys can check it out. Everything that went into it. I can't remember if I posted his numbers or not, but due to the circumstances, I don't really like to show customers numbers unless they give me the okay, and I just didn't ask them if it was okay. But the car is making its average horsepower for being on 91 with the 18 manifold and headers. So overall, I was actually pretty happy. We did notice a lot of bugs with it. It's just a lot of these little bugs pop out after driving it for a few hours or a few minutes. And unfortunately, when I'm dyno tuning like that, I do take it for a test drive. I do like a 15-minute test drive, and a lot of times it's not enough driving time for the computer to learn and all that. So little bugs will pop up here and there. So this is why I always tell them, you know what, drive it around for 2 weeks. If you notice anything weird, just bring it back or give me a call and we'll take another look at it. So we did iron out his idle because he had a pretty nasty idle surge, and for some reason his intake cams we're staying at -2 instead of going all the way to -20 as I was requesting, costing us a lot of low-end power loss during wide open. We were losing approximately 30 foot-pounds, and 30 is a lot to lose. And he did tell me that every once in a while when he would floor it, the car would just feel like a dog. It was just completely dead. There was no power, and it didn't give him that put you back in the seat kind of feeling he used to get before. So that's what it was. I made some adjustments to the cams, and I am now getting the full -20, -18 to the intake cam, which is where we want it at lower RPM. Other than that, the car drove amazing yesterday. We did activate the flex fuel. We did iron out the idle and all that. We did some few wide open pulls, as you guys saw. So that being said, thank you guys for stopping in. I'll see you next week. Leave a like, leave a comment, tell us what you guys want to see. We will be working with Thomas in the near future because he has other plans. So hopefully we can get that car back in pretty soon and make some more power. But he will be coming back on full E85 next time. It was actually good that he brought out 91 because it takes out a lot of the miscalculations. It takes out when it comes to testing the ethanol content. So if we don't know the exact amount of alcohol in the fuel, it makes dialing in a car really difficult because it can run lean or it can run rich once you go to 91. So it's just a headache. So it's always good to baseline it on 91, at least on the Fords where they don't have a physical flex fuel sensor. So yeah, that being said, this concludes today's video, and I will see you next week.